Hi everyone, today we are talking about naming organic compounds. So another name to naming organic compound is called the nomenclature. Now for the naming of organic compound, there is two parts to it. First part is the prefix, which is the front part, and the second part is the suffix, which is the end part of the name. So let's go into details into how we can name organic compound. Okay, for the suffix, which is the end part of the name, it depends on the family that the compound belongs to. For example, if the compound belongs to alkane family, they will all end with A and E. All the names of the family members will end with A and E. If they belong to the alkene, then they will end with E and E. If they belong to alcohol, they will end with ANOL. If they belong to carboxylic acid, they will end with this name at the back. Now let's look at what happened to the front part of the name then. Now for the front part of the name, okay, which we call the prefix, it depends on the number of carbon the compound has. So, for example, if the compound has got 1 carbon, the name will start with METH. If it has 2, it will start with ETH. If it has 3 carbon, it will start with PROP, and so on and so forth. So I have given you up to 10 carbon, and that is more than enough. And if you also look at the third column, I have given you a mnemonic for you to remember the front part. If you would like to, you can choose to craft out your own mnemonics to help you remember. The mnemonics here is just to help you remember how the front part of the naming would be, depending on the number of carbon accordingly. Now let's look at some example, okay? Now let's look at the alkane homologous series. So an alkane with 1 carbon will start with METH, okay? And because it belongs to the alkane family, the back part of the name is A and E. So you realize that all will have A and E because they belong to the alkane family. And the front part, again, will depend on the number of carbon. So if it's 2 carbon, then it will be ETH. If it's 3 carbon, it will be PROP. So for alkane, the first member is called methane. The second member is called ethane. The third is called propane. Okay, so this is the first 3. For alkene, you realize that the first member is called ethene, and ethene has got 2 carbon atoms. Now, the reason why alkene do not have a member with 1 carbon is because an alkene must always have a carbon-carbon double bond functional group. Okay, it must always have this carbon-carbon double bond functional group. And so it cannot have a member which only has 1 carbon, because you cannot form a carbon-carbon double bond with 1 carbon. Okay? Now, let's go to propene. So propene has got 3, butene has got 4 carbon. All right? For now, you will only need to know the top for butene, the top naming for butene. We will talk about the numbering later on in other parts after we talk about isomers. Basically, if you want to know it, this 1 refers to the position of the carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, this is enrichment. So if you want to, you can actually go online and search for more. If not, it is fine. Butene is fine. I think this is enough. Okay. Now let's look at alcohol. So alcohol with 1 carbon, methanol. Alcohol with 2 carbon, ethanol. That's something that's very common that we have been hearing since Sec 3. And alcohol with 3 carbon, propanol. Alcohol with 4 carbon, butanol. Okay? So if it's 1 carbon, it's always meth. Okay? If it's 2, it's always ETH. If 3, it's always PROP. If it's 4, it's always BUT. Same for carboxylic acid. A carboxylic acid with 1 carbon will be named methanoic acid. And carboxylic acid with 2 carbon will be called ethanoic acid, which is found in your vinegar. Now, and carboxylic acid with 3 carbon will be called propanoic acid. And if it has 4 carbon, it will be called butanoic acid. Alright, we will not focus on the drawing today. We will only talk about the naming. Alright. So in summary, in the naming of organic compound, the prefix, which is the front part of the name, depends on the number of carbon, and the suffix, which is the end part of the name, depends on the homologous series that it belongs to. So this is for the naming of organic compound, and this is just the basic naming. And if you read online, there are more detailed naming which is not required in your syllabus. Okay, so that's all for today.